There's no way I'm riding up that. Alright guys, had a pretty good day today. Well, I woke up and it was raining on me, but just stayed in my tent and that let up after about half an hour, something like that. Then I was able to get on the way. Finished off that descent I started yesterday, a nice long gradual descent. And then had a lot of road today, paved road I mean. I think a little more than half of it was paved. I got on this, what was it called? Pioneer Mountains National Scenic Byway, or not National Forest Scenic Byway. And it went up this valley, eventually got up into the trees and mountains. Towards the top of that climb, I made it to Elkhorn Hot Springs, which was pretty cool. I went in there, ate a burger at the restaurant, and then took a dip in the hot springs. It's one of those hot springs that was turned into like a swimming pool basically. The guy said it was first built in 1918, so pretty old hot spring area there. I think my muscles liked it. Of course, right after that I had a pretty steep climb, but it seemed like my legs and body overall enjoyed it. Also got a big ice cream sandwich there, so that was enjoyable. Out of the hot springs, I actually took a dirt road back behind it, and that was kind of a tough climb, especially after taking that long break. But I got back onto the road, had a fun descent through the trees and forest area, and got down to this campground here. Of course, it poured down rain on me for like the 10th of a mile right before this campground, so got wet and I had to get in my rain gear here a little bit, but now it's let up, and yeah, just kind of nice to be at a campground. So on today's ride, there is an infamous hill on the route known as Fleecer Ridge, and let me just show it to you. It's pretty ridiculously steep. Not sure if you can tell on camera, but there's no way I'm riding up that, and people can't ride down it either. They have to slide their bike down, gripping the brakes. I don't know if you can quite tell just how steep it is on camera, but it is pretty steep. I mean, there's even this side trail over here from people pushing and holding their bikes up and down the hill, and it's not too much less steep really. I think this last part might even be steeper than the first part. Alright, so I finished pushing my bike up Fleecer Ridge, or most of it at least. But about halfway or 2/3, I was just too tired. I had to take my front panniers off, and I left them in the bushes here somewhere. So now I'm hiking back down to find them, and I'll carry those up. But this hill here is just ridiculous. A lot of people would probably have a hard time hiking up and down this, much less pushing a fully loaded bike up it, and even more, much less riding up it. It's just inconceivable. There is an alternate around this section for anyone wondering, but I figured I had to go see the legendary Fleecer Ridge on the GDR here. Still don't see my bags. I had to walk up the side trail and just through the grass and sagebrush here for a while because this trail is super slippy. It's just loose rock and dirt. I just couldn't get any traction, which looks like most people hike up the side there. But yeah, going to find my bags. Found them. Now for round 2. Alright, I think I'm for real at the top of the ridge now. And ridiculously steep is the proper description of that hill. It was just ridiculous. I don't know why they don't cut some switchbacks into the side of that thing. At least entertain the idea of thinking I can ride it. Alright, I'm gonna eat and rest up, head on to Butte. What's up guys? Coming out of Butte, Montana this morning. I actually forgot to update y'all yesterday how the rest of the day went. Sometimes when I get into town I just get busy doing all my town stuff and I pretty much always forget to film anything. So after Fleecer Ridge, had a nice descent. Still don't think that made the push up the mountain worth it though. And then I crossed the interstate and had to climb up another hill or mountain on the other side. It's a pretty hot climb. Got nice and sweaty, which yesterday morning was super cold, so went from having all my layers on to just sweating in the afternoon. Up there is pretty cool views, kind of through some I don't know, open areas between the mountains. Then I had a descent into Butte and then kind of a struggle to getting into town after I got out of the mountains, just a little headwind. And then yeah, just did town stuff. Stayed in a hotel last night, which was nice. That was the first one since Rawlins, so it was a nice treat. And then this morning I headed out of Butte. The route went through the old historic part of Butte called Uptown. That was pretty cool to see. A lot of old big brick buildings and houses through there. Looked like it was a real big boom town at some point. And then just climbing up. My first climb this morning, I don't know if I'm at the top, towards the top. I think I got 3 big climbs today, and then I'll be in Helena, where I'll get another hotel, 2 in a row, I know, treating myself. And that'll wrap it up for this section 2 of the GDR, once I get into Helena tonight. Taking a quick break here, eat some Oreos. The route has me going up this trail next. Which it describes as a tough ascent, so might be walking a little bit. Not too far back, I almost had a pretty big crash. I've been climbing for a while now, but there's just little descents within the climb, and I don't think I recognized quite how soft the dirt was, and all of a sudden, I must have hit a rock or something, because all of a sudden the back of my bike was way out over here, and then it corrected and went way back over that way, and I almost wiped out big, but thankfully I was able to keep it under control, keep going, but a little rush of adrenaline there. The rest of this climb has been going pretty well. Up in the mountains through all the trees, which I like a lot. Decent amount of it reminded me of northern New Mexico, which was really nice. Almost forgot I was up in Montana, so I like this area. not quite sure what these trails look like. I got another one after this. I passed a couple cyclists that were just doing a short section through here. They said they had to walk a lot, so might be walking. But eventually I'll get to the top, and then it'll be big descent and then one more climb. Alright guys, made it into Helena yesterday evening. This is the next morning now. The rest of that first trail where I left off with y'all ended up not being bad once I got over that washed out beginning part. It's kind of just a trail that hooked over to another road. But that second trail was a legit mountain biking trail. And surprisingly, I did pretty good on it. I got to ride most of it, I'd say. Had to walk on, well, definitely on that steep uphill and a couple of the steep parts, and had to put a foot down here on some of the technical parts with big rocks and roots. But got a decent amount done of it. I think my skills have improved a little bit, but still basically I have the wrong bike for it. I need a mountain bike for that trail. So it was kind of fun, slow going though. It was kind of long, maybe a couple miles or something, I don't know. Then eventually got off that, had a rest of the descent, and then one more climb before I got into town, which wasn't that bad of a climb, but I was feeling it. I had a bad headache and I was tired, and I think I was just really drained. I only got like 6 hours of sleep the night before, so I think I was just, body was shut down, ready to be done. Finally got into town here, managed to skip the rain, which is nice. It looks like a pretty cool town. Might have to come back and visit someday. I'm in a hotel here in the kind of downtown area. Didn't get to bed super early, pretty typical whenever I stay in a hotel because electricity keeps me up doing stuff. So I slept in a little bit. It's almost 8 here. About to head out, and I need to stop by the grocery store real quick. So coming into Helena marks the end of section 2 of the route. And overall, pretty good section. I liked it. Ticking off these sections a lot faster now that I'm doing more miles. But this one started in Grand Tetons, which was an awesome place. Definitely go visit there. Went through Idaho, which I really enjoyed. Like I said, had that rail to trail and some cool things through the woods. And then it dumped me into Montana. First Valley wasn't too great, or at least didn't treat me too well. But after that, got up in the mountains and trees, and it turned to be really nice again. So good section. I think it was a longer section, 450 miles I think, but it was a good section. I recommend it. Now I just have one more in America and then one in Canada, but I'm getting close, less than 2 weeks away.